Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, end of the week. Going into the weekend at long last. Get a break from market activity for a little bit. Although I don't know if any of you feel the same way I do, but I get sort of bummed out on the weekends because there's nothing to trade. I mean, that's not entirely true. There's crypto, there's forex. There is other stuff, but for me, mostly watching S&P futures. They stop, and that's a bummer. But anyway, yeah, it just means you have to find other things to do on the weekends. So, with that, I am Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators. This is our morning pre-market analysis. Good to have you here. And if you are in the live chat, if you're actually on the live stream, love to hear from you. Feel free to chime in on YouTube chat. Or, of course, if you're in the Discord room, feel free to say hello over there as well, although we've already been having a conversation this morning in that room. So don't forget to give us a like if you like these videos. Give us a comment. Let us know what you want more of, what else you'd like to see, anything else you'd like us to analyze. We are here for you. And please do be sure to subscribe and actually tick that little alarm bell if you want to get notifications when we're going live each morning and afternoon for the pre-market and post-market analyses. So on that note, let's take a look at the markets. S&P 500, big up overnight, up very strong overnight after yesterday's wild ride. Yesterday was also a very strong up day with some interesting intraday activity. If you're an intraday trader, there were some really good opportunities yesterday. And tonight, or this morning rather, overnight, the market has pushed up again, very strong, and has actually hopped right over and right to just this little resistance line here. It's kind of just a short-term resistance line from back here, from this previous high here. So it's not like a major significant zone or anything like that, but it is a little bit of a resistance line. And sure enough, the market has kind of stalled there a little bit, going a little sideways, digesting all this huge up momentum that we've had. Navigator is still very, very strong, although it's pushing up, getting close to overbought territories. Up in this range here, up in the 40s, so 35, 40. So, be a little bit cautious with longs. It is for a long-term holder. If you're trading more daily charts, weekly charts, something like that, maybe you're looking to wait for a pullback and to get a little bit better entry. Short-term traders, though, certainly there's no shortage of opportunity during the days. So we are up over the 21 EMA, and I would love to see a pullback back to it. It's been riding that 21A pretty well. 21 EMA, I meant, pretty well. Poked below it a few times, but for the most part, that has been acting as really good support. So a pullback to the 21 EMA, somewhere in that area, and then watch for some bullish confirmation on the short-term time frame, something like a box break to the upside, navigator crossings, that sort of thing, is a good sign for a potential long trade intraday. Right now, the direction is certainly up. You're looking to be on the bull side at this moment. There's nothing to indicate we should be looking to get short right now, at least on an intraday time frame. On a daily basis, we are bumping up right against the daily 21 EMA, and it is actually holding as resistance. So we've got mixed signals right now. Intraday, short term, 60-minute, we're definitely bullish, but daily we are bullish for just this short little bit, but this is still lower lows and lower highs, right? So until we've gotten above this area here and taken out that high, we are still in that downtrend. So right now we are just in the middle of this zone here. We're just right in the middle of it, and we need to either establish a lower high. So imagine maybe today was it, right? If this was the end of this little retrace, we establish a lower high here, and then we need to march downwards, and we need to break this low here, and would need to then establish a lower low somewhere down below. So that would be continuing the downtrend. Alternatively, of course, we need to break this level here to establish that maybe a reversal has happened and a new uptrend is forming. So those are the levels that we're watching for a significant major trend change of some kind or trend continuation. Now, to the downside, it does need to break this significant buy zone, and that's a big distance to cover. It certainly could happen with the volatility that we've had in some of these big moves lately, but that is the very significant support that we're looking at right now, is that big buy zone. And obviously, if that breaks, then I mean that's the lows of the year, and then it's anybody's guess as to how far down it's going to go. So At the moment anyway, it does look like maybe a reversal is starting to form, but we need to see to confirm some kind of a reversal. We either need to just plain take out this high here and just march all the way up higher, or we need to pull back and establish a higher low, something higher than this. So maybe we pull back to, here, this rising trend line area or something like that, or maybe even to the top of the zone. Pull back to the top of the zone, test it, and then come off. That would be perfectly fine too. And then that would establish, once we break this, that would establish a new uptrend has truly begun. So I am not personally looking for this move here to just completely shoot to the upside and keep running. Nothing ever goes in a straight line. So I'm looking for some kind of a pullback to happen sometime in the near future, probably. If not today, and frankly, intraday anyway is so strong right now, I don't know that it would really happen today. But if it didn't happen today, then probably sometime next week is my personal bet, if you will. So that is kind of what we're looking at for the S&P. I am looking right now to trade to the long side intraday, looking for a pullback after the open, and we'll see if I get it, and we'll see if there's some opportunities that set up. Crude oil, light sweet crude is still very much in that uptrend longer term on the daily chart. And we have come right down to that uptrend and poked just below the trend line and are pretty much right at it, right at that buy zone as well. So kind of a pivotal point. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This is a weekly chart, by the way. I was looking at weeklies earlier, and I forgot to change back to a daily. So this is a weekly chart. So on a weekly, well, I'm on a weekly. Let me talk about it. On a weekly basis, we have pulled right down to the rising trend line. So it's a pivotal time right now in the buy zone at the weekly rising trend line. Needs to decide, is this downtrend stronger? Are there enough forces at work to push crude all the way down through this buy zone to maybe then test the next one down here? Or do we stop here and head higher and bounce off of this level? That is what we're going to have to be watching the shorter term time frames to determine what's going on. So here we are on the daily, and the same thing, just with a little bit more detail. Navigator is very bearish, very, very bearish, just ticking down, ticking down. It's still got some room to go before it's oversold. So there is certainly the potential here for crude to continue lower. But right this instant, I mean, you can very clearly see it is just hanging right at that trend line. It has stalled after the big move down yesterday to close the rest of the gap to that rising channel line. It is just hanging and going sideways. On the intraday, you can see that really well. We've just got this crooked channel there. We've got this channel right here that it is just stuck in, and a very tight range and moving sideways. So trying to decide what it wants to do. Short term, we have this buy zone here. And right now, Crude just wants to figure out, is this buy zone going to hold and we're going to head back up out of it, or does the buy zone become a sell zone and we break down below and head lower? So if you are a bear, you're looking for a takeout of this low here, and you want to see it take out and hold. This is a 60-minute chart, so ideally you'd like to see a 60-minute candle break that low and hold there to really indicate bearishness heading down. We've also got it, of course, riding the 21 EMA, which is acting as resistance at the moment, dynamic resistance. So if you are truly a bear and you're confident and it suits your risk reward, you could think about getting in here with your stop, outside the EMA, or maybe outside the buy zone here. Relatively low risk entry, potentially anyway, if that suits your parameters. But I personally would be wanting to wait for something more like I've mentioned, a takeout of these lows. If you're bullish, on the other hand, obviously you've got to see it get above this buy zone. It's got to get above that buy zone and hold. And at that point, then you've got a potential entry there, maybe with your stop just below the zone, something like that. We are in a very tight little box right here. You can just barely see the red line because it's kind of overlapping the yellow line there of the buy zone. So right now it has tried to break out twice and failed to break the box and hold it both times. Navigator is trending up, so that's a potentially positive sign, but you can see it's gone trending up, crash down, trending up, crash down. So if that pattern continues, then trend up, crash down. But we're also in oversold territory down here, and we had a bunch of magenta flashing as well, indicating that as this move was happening, this big move yesterday. So I wouldn't be looking to expect a big downwards move on an intraday right now, just because we are already sort of down close to those oversold levels. But hey, it's the markets; they can do what they want, right? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a break of this low if you're bearish, and a break and a hold of this buy zone if you're bullish. That'll help establish some kind of direction. And again, on the daily, if we get some bullish confirmation, then I would say that is a pretty good sign that we are likely to. Let me oops, zoom out a little bit. Why my scale is not behaving properly here. So we would want to maybe retest. I seem to have lost my upper channel line. Not quite sure why that happened, but something like that. That's kind of the channel that Crude was in. So I'd be looking for maybe it to march up and retest the top of that channel again if we get some kind of a confirmation that this buy zone is going to hold. So that's Crude for you. Let's take a look at gold. And gold is moving lower this morning on an intraday. We see it went sideways overnight. Yeah, after yesterday, had another strong up day, which was interesting because the market was up, gold was up, so both were in unison there, and we hit really overbought levels, so needed to go sideways or pull back, one or the other, and it basically just went sideways and stayed in the box all night long. Broke the box this morning, but a little bit of a false breakout, and now we've crashed right back into and even below the new box. So gold heading lower, which, assuming that gold and the markets get back into being kind of opposites, then this bodes well for the market to continue its upside move today. So we'll have to see if the two want to stay in sync or get back out of sync again. We are still green on the Navigator, so Navigator is still quite strong, but again, it's up over 30, so it's getting close to those overbought levels still. So I don't really think that right this instant gold has a whole lot of higher momentum left in it. We broke below the 21 EMA on the 60 and are looking to hold below that. If that can hold below, then that might be some resistance for a little while and let gold head lower. And maybe it wants to test the 21 EMA on the daily. And that in the past, the 21 EMA has really been a magnet for price, and price has oscillated around it quite a lot. So that could happen again. But right now, we've just got this big daily congestion zone here that we're kind of right back in the middle of again. So no clear trend on gold. Very choppy market right this moment. So looking for some kind of a strong confirmation if you want to trade directionally and trade more of a trending move. If you're a scalper, then you're just looking for short-term moves, and maybe you're on a 5-minute, 15-minute chart, something like that, and you can pick up some nice little trend moves that way. Just look for those patterns of higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, and get your confirmation out of the trend before anything else. Let's take a look at the crypto market and see what happened there. We had another interesting move. So Bitcoin, which we're of course using as a proxy for crypto in general, had another thrust to the upside here. So it seems to be doing that lately. It's having this huge thrust down, and actually even going back further than that, we've had these weird spikes, and then it just kind of consolidates for a bit, and then a spike, and then a consolidation, spike, consolidate, and then a really big spike, consolidate. Big spike, consolidate. That just seems to be its pattern lately, is these big, sharp, crazy moves, and then just tight channel. It's very interesting. Now, this is a really good, strong move too, but notice it didn't just happen in one or two 60-minute candles like some of these previous moves. This one actually took a little while. It was a little bit more of sort of a trending move. So I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's interesting to observe. 21 EMA on the 60 is certainly acting as good support right now, and we are pushing up into this buy zone, sell zone. We're pushing up into this sell zone here and looking to challenge it. It is a big zone, though, so it's got some distance to cross, no question about it. But if it can get up here and challenge this sort of 6470 type, 6475, something like that level, then we could see a real recovery starting to happen in Bitcoin. On the daily, we are still moving into this wedge. On the daily, in fact, let me zoom in a little closer. It's actually the 21 EMA acting as resistance. So it is riding the 21 EMA, but kind of just staying below it. So you can see the EMA is mostly sideways, but it is slightly down. So we're still a little bit bearish on a daily basis in Bitcoin. Not a huge amount of bullish confidence coming back in yet. And we are moving to the downside on the Navigator. It is still red. and the trend on the Navigator is just slightly down. It's not massively down, but it is slightly just heading downwards. I'll get my alerts going off here. So that's Bitcoin right now. If you are a bull, maybe your 21 EMA is your entry. Put your stop just below it, something like that. We are still green on the 60-minute Navigator, so as long as we hold above the zero line, then we could see some continued momentum to the upside. If you're a bear in crypto, then as I have said, a number of times already this week, we really need to see it take out these lows here, and especially we want to see it take out that final low there. That is really, if you're a bear, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a takeout of that low, and at that point, who knows? It could go as far as it wants to go. There's a lot of room down there to go. But right this instant, anyway, it looks like Bitcoin trying to kind of make a recovery, but it's got a ways to go. And last but not least, let's finish up with natural gas. Take a quick peek at that. I was discussing this in the Discord room this morning with William, and it's a choppy market on a daily basis. If you're a swing trader, it's just kind of a mess, chopping around. It is sort of heading lower. We do have, the pattern here. We had the higher highs and higher lows in this uptrend, and then we had a failure to make the higher high. So we had our first indication that something was going on here when it failed to make that higher high, and then it made a lower low, at which point it made a lower high. So right this moment, we are in fact in a pattern of lower lows, lower highs. So we're in a downtrend, okay? But we need to see a break of these lows here to indicate that this is finally continuing its continuing that momentum to the downside. Ideally, that would come with it a zero line crossing on the Navigator. So that's what we're also keeping an eye out for on the daily basis, is we're looking for a cross to the downside there, across that zero line, to indicate that the bears are coming in with force, and then we are maybe looking to head lower and test this buy zone down here. So that would be kind of a reasonable target I'd be looking for, is something in this zone, and to challenge this kind of rising trend you see here, this higher high, higher low. Now, on the intraday basis, though, there's a lot of opportunity. We were talking about how it's a good day trading market right now. So we did crash back below these trend lines and all the way down to the buy zone down here. So on an intraday basis, we are right at it right now. So we are very bearish on the Navigator. We're not quite oversold yet. But we're getting there. We're heading that direction for sure. So 21 EMA doing a good job of being resistance right now. And we need to see what happens in this zone, because this is going to be the critical time, is what does it do in this zone? Does it bounce off of it? Does it come down into it and bounce? Or does it actually crash right on through it and test it as resistance? So that is what we're watching for. If you are a bear, then you've already actually gotten a couple of signs. You've got a break of this box here. Let me actually... I like that. We've got a break of this box here and a break of this box here. So already some significant bearish signs, but I would not be looking right now personally to jump into a new short position right this moment. I'd want to wait and see what happens here. It is at a very critical point right now. We are in a downtrend, so I'd want to wait for perhaps a little bit of a retracement, a little bit of a bounce, sell the rally kind of thing. And look for something like that to take an opportunity to get short. So I think that is everything for this morning. Looking forward to another good trading day today. Close out the week on a high note would be great. So hope that is what you all get. Hope that's how your trading goes today. And again, as always, please do give us a like if you like these videos, subscribe, give us a comment, let us know what you want, what you don't want, what you'd like to see us do differently, anything we can do to help, we're here for you. So let us know in the comments below. And make sure also, if you'd like to get notified when we're going live in the mornings and afternoons, hit that little alarm bell icon, and you will then get an email notification that we are heading to the live stream in the mornings and afternoons for the pre-market and post-market analysis. So that's it for me, Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators. I will see you again this afternoon at 1 p.m. for the close of market analysis, and then on to a good weekend. All right, good trading, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.